What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to Captain Crush's channel on YouTube. Today we're going to discuss the NBA massive Valentine's Day slate. Happy Valentine's Day to all the single degenerates and the couple degenerates that happen to watch your boy's channel. I appreciate you taking the time on this lovely February 14th to check in on your boy and see what he's got cooking. I'm over here on Outlier Bet looking at all these games, and some of them look crispy. A lot of them are on back-to-backs and others are going to be straight fades. So without further ado, let's get into it. Right out of the gate, we got the slow-paced Rockets, Memphis Grizzlies, 2.5-point spread, an abysmal total. I'm going to talk about that game. We got the revenge situation, Toronto Pacers, over under 244 with a crispy 3.5-point spread. We got the throwaway Nets and the Celtics. My goodness, what a dumpster fire yesterday. And my play of the day, Porzingis, didn't even get to play. They ruled him out because of a back bruise. He's soft as cake, but maybe we're going right back to the well. And we got the Knicks and Magic. There's a man with an interesting name that I'm going to address from that game. And then we got the late night hammer. The Clippers versus the Warriors. The battle for California. Over under 236.5 with a crispy, crusty 3-point spread. Let's break this puppy down. Let's go over to the king of the road, PrizePicks, and let's discuss. By the way, I cover PrizePicks on here because the majority of you use PrizePicks, but don't think for a single solitary second that parlay, play, chalkboard, sleeper, underdog, that they're not in the mix. Every site has their own unique niche. I recommend you use them all. Keep your bankroll in a PayPal account so you can move coin on every site and take advantage of the promos. Use that as your bankroll account. Withdraw deposit from there and you'll be in the mix. That's a pro tip from your boy right here. You're welcome for that. But today is Wacky Wednesday. Some of you have that $100 protected 3-man flex, and we are going to cover what we can on PrizePicks and other sites as well. Now today I'm going to talk about parlay play for a second. I'm telling you, they just added alternate lines, but right now, as of now, February 14th, guys, this is the only site that I know of that's allowing you to take alternate lines, but letting you take less on those alternate lines. Here's an example right here. Jalen Brunson, okay? They have a bunch of lines for him. They have overs and unders on his alt lines, and his points line right here, so you can take a higher line and take less on it. That is crispy. I don't know anyone else that's doing that right now that isn't a legit sports book. So Jalen Brunson at 26.5 points. If you think he's going to have a bad game, you could take less on the alternate line and get 2.74x payout. And then you could pair it with someone like Luka, an alternate line at 24.5, which is a major discount. And you'd still be getting 3x because you're taking less here. Now, I'm using Jalen Brunson as an example because it's just the first one that I saw. But you guys need to check out Parlay Play. I'm telling you, this right here would pay 3.1x. Obviously, that is a solid payout, and it gives you options to be able to work with. You're not bound by the straight line on PrizePicks. You have to be using every application and site to your advantage. And here's Parlay Play. The link is in the description. Use code CRUSH, and in addition to that, I will give you a free 30 days of my Discord, which is basically a classroom and a think tank where I give you guys my live streams, my projection model, and my favorite plays for that particular day. Every day, 6 out of 7 days. Get in the mix. You have no excuse. I'm telling you guys, this is goated right here. I haven't had a lot of time to play with it because I just got back from vacation, but I'm telling you that having advantage, being able to take alternate lines, unders on them is absolutely clutch. No one else is doing this. Get in the mix, okay? ParlayPlay.io, code CRUSH. Link in the description. Stop being lame. Get in the mix. And once you're in the Discord with that 30-day free trial, I cover all those websites there. Sleeper, Parlay, Play, Chalkboard, you name them, I cover them. I got you, boys. I got you. Chalkboard doesn't have Android support yet. So for those of you there, you go over to Parlay Play. Now let's talk about PrizePicks because that's where most of you degens reside, okay? Now what do we got? We got so many options today, but we got a game. The Atlanta Hawks versus the Charlotte Hornets. Now, late last night, I cooked up a absolute nuke. I never do this. I don't encourage nuking. I don't do any of that stuff because it's a devil's errand. It's not good for you. It's bad business. It's not hitting. But I was up from my ladder challenge 3 days in a row, so I went ahead and did what the people want. If the nuke hits, the cord goes wild, and that is the only upside of a nuke. Unfortunately, 4 out of the 6 have been bumped. But I am going to say something right here, right now, okay? This Atlanta Hawks game has potential. You need to be taking a look at Nick Richards, Trey Mann, Okay, and I'm not necessarily their fantasy scores. I'm just telling you guys to take a look at these guys. Use Outlier Bet, okay? If you want a free 30 days of that, the link's in the description. I'm doing God's work, giving you guys all the promos. Yeah, a lot of creators used my idea and started giving out free Discord trials with the promo codes. I was the OG that did that, and the difference between me and them is that when you do use those trials and come into my Discord, I will teach you how to use those tools, whether it's DGF, Outlier. If you just get it, you're going to be lost. You're not going to know what to do. So that's where you get the free trial. You get in the court and I teach you how to use those tools to actually convert it into coin. Every hobby takes teaching, boys. Ask the people, my day ones that I just recognized today. Most of them were lost in the sauce and now they're friggin' pros. Not really pros, but they're better off than when I found them. You know what I mean? Anyways, when you use Outlier Bet, you can deep dive into some of these things. You get these insights. Trae Young has exceeded 23.5 points in 10 of his last 13 games on the road. And the reason I talk about Trae Young, his line was at 23.5 last night. It was crispy value. It's at 24.5 right now, I believe. Yes, there it is at 24.5. Now, whenever the Hornets are on the slate, you know that they have blowout equity, but Trae Young's points are low. And I know the Hawks are healthy minus Clint Capella, but Trae Young needs to be considered. His assists, his fantasy score, his real points. Heck, if they had a turnover prop for Trae Young, I'd be looking at that too because that used to be a wagon, but Trae Young needs to be considered. This speaks for itself. 11 of his last 20. They are 13th allowed in point guards against point guards, but they're 24th overall, okay? If you go back here, it's a 6.5 point spread with a 237 point total. The reason I'm telling you guys Trae is because I think this game has potential. I like more of the Hornets side. The Hornets have been selling coin for everybody, okay? But you need to consider, remember, they don't have Clint Capella. So Nick Richards, 12 points, that could be considered. Brandon Miller has been absolute dog water for the last 3 games. Elite matchup against the Bucks, he sold everybody. Memphis sold. He sold everybody in Indiana when everyone had his goblin. Now he's going against the Atlanta. It's a pace-up spot. This is a get-right spot for Brandon Miller. I'm never going to be high on Brandon Miller. He can't keep his hands to himself. He loves to foul, and more importantly than that, you'll check the box score, and you'll see Brandon Miller is 2 for 11, and you won't even blink an eye because that's what he does. He sells slips as a side hustle. Some people DoorDash, some people sell slips. Never forget, boys and girls, I'm telling you, but you can feel pretty okay knowing that Brandon Miller's at 19.5. He has 25 point upside. All he needs to do is get hot and he can cover that line, okay? I personally am on Trae Man today, but they bumped him. His points, I got his points at 11.5. It's now 12.5. I got his RA at 10.5. It's now 11. Which is right here. I got it at 10.5, 22.5. I just took this the other day at 19.5 and he got 27. I honestly believe that 22.5 PRA is in the mix for him. Okay, these are the role players. Well, Brandon Miller's a rookie, not really a role player, but Trae Man definitely is in a new setup, a new spot, coming over from the Thunder. He's hungry, like I said on the last YouTube. His fantasy score is a little bit too high for what he gets as far as blocks and steals and turnovers, but if you did want to go there, I guess I don't hate it. But the PRA is really where I would go to now, seeing as every other line of his got bumped. And then again, Brandon Miller would be your dart at 19.5 points for the Hornets. Nick Richards also needs to be considered. His PRA, his points, his rebounds has been bumped. Listen, if you're new to my channel, I don't come on here and just spoon feed you and go down and be like, tail this, take that, take this. Sometimes I do. Usually on my plays of the day, I'll tell you whoever the thumbnail is, but the fact of the matter is this: you will always feel better about making your own reads, building your own slips. Whether you win, lose, or draw, you will feel better about it because you cooked it yourself. That is my whole thing. I am just trying to be a tool, not in the bad sense, like when you call someone a tool, but a research tool, someone you can count on to give you the information and break it down and try to condense the slate for you. So say you work, say you got a full-time job, a family, whatever, yada, yada, bang, you tune into Captain Crush's YouTube, you join his Discord, and he puts all the information for you, gives you his insight, which is me and mine. I give you my projection sheets. You tune into the live stream after you watch the YouTube, and bang! Everything that you would have done by yourself that takes 3 to 5 hours is now condensed for you, courtesy of Captain Crush. That is what I try to do. If you do want to tail me right down the gate, that's fine too. I don't care. I'm just saying. I'm trying to make you guys have your own process. This is a hobby. 99% of you are recreational bettors. You're not even close to professional. 99.5% of people will never be professional bettors. And that's okay, folks. It's a hobby. It's something we do for fun. We're doing this to have a good time and to make sports more enjoyable. Keep a level head and keep consciousness and stay in reality. But I try to keep it 100 with you guys and be transparent always, okay? Regardless of what anyone says. So remember to consider these guys. Nick Richards fantasy, Jalen Johnson, Trae Young I talked about pretty much. Trey Man's PRA, I would stay away from his fantasy. Saddiq Bey just sold everybody, but you can go right back to him. His points is a little high for my taste, but as you can see, he's been a wagon. He had a bad game in Chicago. It is what it is, guys. You got to make those decisions. Jalen Johnson, I'd probably stick to his RA or something, stay away from his points. He's very volatile, but that's all I got to say about that game for now, okay? The next person I'm going to talk about is a man with a name called Precious Achiuwa. What a name. You love to see it. You gotta love it. You know his parents are cooking. Is he going to be my Precious tonight? Now, before you sit there, comment guy, and say, well, Captain Hartenstein and Josh Hart are back in the mix. I know they're in the mix, buddy. I've been sitting here all day staring at this screen. You don't think Captain Crush knows who's in the mix? Listen, Precious Achiuwa, with or without Hartenstein, has been playing big minutes in this role, and I'm talking 39 to 40 plus. Now, the matchup against Orlando is terrible. It's dog water, but let me splash on over to the handy dandy notepad. Precious is 0.92 fantasy point per minute, and I'm telling you it's higher now that he's in this team with a 16% usage rate. That ain't hitting, but 0.92, multiply it times 35, and bang, 32.2, and I've just told you he's been playing 39 to 40 minutes. Close spread, low total. Precious could and should eat. Hartenstein's recovering from a Achilles injury, and even with him on the court, he was still playing minutes. Go back and look. February 6th, February 8th. I think this is in play, and he has been a wagon. 34, 35, 36, 39. These two games, Hartenstein was in the mix. Remember, it's not just Hartenstein that was out. They still are down Randall and OG and Anunoby. So since then, Precious has been cooking. I'm going to throw my name in the hat and take a shot on him. Again, I don't love the matchup, but I just showed you the math. 0.92, if he does play 35 minutes, he has potential to cover. You could look at his RA if you wanted to. Where is it at? 10.5 RA is also something you could consider. I just took the fantasy score because it gives access to all of it. It's definitely not a core play. Remember, there's 13 games. I could give you advice for every single game. I could find a player. I'm just trying to give you options for what people haven't been talking about on Twitter, other channels. That is my job, my goal. I'm trying to give you guys other stuff that you haven't already heard about, and I highly doubt anyone's talking about Precious Achiuwa tonight, okay? Now, there's another guy when we go over to Indiana. That game is crispy. If you look here, right here, where's it at? The Raptors, Pacers, 244 with a 3.5 point spread. It's absolutely in the mix. What do we know about Pascal Siakam other than the fact that he's abstract poverty, man? The fact is he got traded. Revenge game scenario. He could decide to turn up. He could decide to cook. We don't know. But hopefully he gets it done. And if you don't want to take his fantasy score, I don't blame you because it's a little bit high, but I will say this, minus 150 on old Pinnacle, 3.5 assists is absolutely crispy, fellas. You can't deny the crispy chicken when he's 3.5 at minus 155 on Pinnacle. You gotta consider it. And then if you want to run back from that crispy game, you could go over to Mr. Barnes and try to find something that suits your fancy with Scotty Scooty Barnes, because he might just maybe hit, okay? I would think that he would be the run back for this matchup. If you take his fantasy score, you get access to his blocks and steal equity, which are 3 points a pop. And let me tell you something, Scotty, when he decides to show up and go off, he gets blocks and steals. So that's something to be considered in the mix. I don't love it. I'm not high on it. I would probably maybe look at his RA. I know it's been a wagon for people at 15. Those are the two that I would consider from that game if I was you. Now remember, I go into detail and give the plays and slips and all that in my Discord every single day. You go to CaptainCrush.net, gold package. Silver gives you 5 to 7 plays every single day of the week. Gold gives you the full shebang, the golden ticket into the cord where you get the live streams. And by the way, my email address is down here. That's where you send the proof with the partner deposits to get in the free trial. But the gold Discord package is where it's at, boys and girls. You'll get access to my projection model. It looks something like that, folks, where I color coordinate it nice and neat for you. You can make your own reads. Then you can get the best value of all and get in my Discord where we have the general chat right here, which is where we all talk. We got role member slips where my role members post their slips. We got the think tank of the general chat where we talk about everything from Valentine's Day to politics to women to cooking slips. You name it, we cover it, baby. I'm serious. We got a good group of people in there. We got giveaways popping from me, other members. We got esports guru. This Romelius guy is low-key cooking, but the one time I tell his slip, it chalks. Maybe I'm the dark cloud. Maybe I'm the guy that is causing the esports backroom degens rolling dice, cigars in hand to chalk. Maybe. I don't know. But the guy's been cooking low-key, and he's a hop skip away from getting a role member of a new esports guru. Because my old ones, I guess they don't want to cook anymore. I don't know what happened to Retro and RJM. I don't know where they're at, buddies, but I'm begging you guys to show up. And if you are in my Discord, I added the day one member tag, the OGs. There's about 40 of them and more once I see the names. I add it. If you were joined in May or June, you qualify for day one status. There will be a day one giveaway tonight in tonight's live stream there, so make sure you are in there if you are a part of that. And the ones that said Cap lost all his day ones, you're clueless, buddy, because there's still about 50 to 60 in there. Know your role. Look at Tuna. Tuna always crushes, man. It's ridiculous. Malik Monk. I told everybody in the court yesterday about Malik Monk, and Sabonis, I talked about him right here on the YouTube. He's all freaking wagon. Cash him, and cash Tuna. She crushed it. Franz, what a heartbreak. He sold me too. Eric Gordon, he cashed us. Or Eric Gordon, the live stream cash. Here's another live stream slip that I did on my live stream call out. Bang, 3x, Edwards under, Gordon over, cash it. And the holy grail, the daily double yesterday. LeBron Goblin and the Taco, bang, 2x, double it up, ladder complete. On to day 2. Some of you are on to day 3. Now, where's your boy at? Here I am, bang, there it was. There's another one, 65 to win, bang. The other one, my boy Monk, that was 3x, not even 2x. That was a 3x daily double. You're welcome, boys. This was the one that should have fed families. Malik Dort. No one wanted to play Dort yesterday. Nobody wanted Dort but your boy, and he cashed. Franz sold. He shot 2 for what? 2 for 12. He was terrible. 2 for 13, I think. Franz, you know you're going to go off tonight, though. Banchero, yeah, that was a dart throw. Yeah, but we got lucky on that. And then Eddie, and I'm going to talk about Eddie. Eddie's Chet Holmgren dunks. Money Matt says few live stream callouts. There's a bunch of people with. If I was here calling out everybody, guys, I'd be here all day. Jerry Mack crushed. Iceberg crushed. Logan crushed. PPW got a W. You know when, what do I tell you guys? When PPW gets a win, you know it was probably a day where coin could have been had, okay? Spartan crushed. Copbot support crushed. Another parlay played W from Double Knot. A sleeper W with Monk 8. And I talked about Aiton's fantasy. He even said they didn't have Aiton's fantasy, so he took the PR8 crushing. D Cold's been in here for 3 days. He just hit a 6-man. Good for you, D2 Cold. Yoma says goated channel. Boys, I got a good community. Not just me. Remember, I got other guys because I teach them everything that I know. I teach them, and then they cook, and then they post. So I know I've taken a bunch of time on this today, but it's important, guys. I want to get a bunch of new members. I'm going to have a discount code soon for baseball and MLB. I'll be giving you guys a discount, but I want to get new members and turn them into new soldiers, and I'm excited to see what will come of that. Anytime new members join, there's always opportunity. I give everyone an opportunity in my cord to gain respect from me and the other members and post your plays and everything else. I do giveaways all the time. We have a good time in there, folks. We do. Now, let's go back to PrizePicks. I've plugged enough. CaptainCrush.net. I hope to see you in the live at 4:45. Don't be a salesman. Give me a shot. I'm telling you. And if you don't like it, you can leave. No hard feelings, but just give it a shot, okay? Like I said, I want to get new members. I'm curious to see who else we can get in the mix and see what other personalities can be brought to the table. I've told people before, for every 20 members that join, there's one that's a diamond in the rough that becomes a long-term loyal supporter and contributes to everyone. That's pretty much the ratio, every one of 20. Now let's get back to PrizePicks. All right, so the Boston Celtics are on a back-to-back. Porzingis did sit out yesterday. He was the play of the day. He should be fresh today, but we're not exactly sure what's going to happen there. Ironically enough, they do not have his P plus R on the board. This was at 14.5 yesterday. Now it's at 17.5, which is kind of weird. I think it was at 14.5. I can't remember. Not sure why they don't have his P plus R. I don't think I'm going to go to his fantasy score today, but when they put his P plus R up there, I may consider it. Now, Tatum has been an absolute wagon. Yes, sir. Tatum has been a wagon, folks. And if you're looking for a crispy goblin with Porzingis back, it's actually going to help his assist equity. You could take Tatum at 3.5 assists. He can bounce pass in the middle. Bang! Zinger grabs it. 2-step, Euro step. Bang! Count it. Assist. Put it on the box score because it's hitting. Either one of these, Tatum 2.5 3 points made needs to be considered. I like the assist one better, but even then, the wagon's right here. 14.5 R plus A. You cannot deny this man. Bang! 19, 19, 18, 16, 15. I hate looking at the last 5 and seeing green beans, but I'm telling you right now, the man had flipped the switch, and I'm the biggest Tatum supporter there is. Everybody hates on Tatum. Everybody says this about Tatum, Tatum this, Tatum that. Tatum is a bona fide crusher. If you don't like it, leave it. Learn to love it, because I'm telling you right now, Tatum is a future Hall of Famer, a future world champion. Put respect on the man's name. He crushes, and 99% of the time, he respects your coin. So I'm telling you, Tatum, respect that man. I'm sick of all the hate that Tatum gets. Respect that man. RA, assists, Goblin, back-to-back be darned. I don't care if you want to take a shot on Tatum. You have my blessing. Even his fantasy score could be in the mix. Now, Tatum, I say all that to the boys and girls, and if you go out there and sell, you're going to make me look really bad. So get it done. I'm begging you, Tatum. Now, let me hop off my soapbox. Man, I'm fired up, boys. It's Valentine's Day. You got to be fired up on Valentine's Day, don't you? Where's CJ McCollum at? Where are you at, buddy? Since we're talking about wagons, you can't talk about wagons and not talk about CJ McCollum. His 8.5 RA, this used to be a wagon, and now he plays the Poverty Wizards. For sure, I'll be taking a shot. They don't have his fantasy score on the board, so we have to look at other places, and maybe 8.5 R plus A, maybe his points, I'm not sure. Keep CJ McCollum in your back pocket, maybe your front pocket, because the man can show up when you least expect it the most. And I'm telling you right now, the Poverty Wizards are not going to be stopping anybody, okay? Now, there's so much more that I could say. Even just going through here, there's so much stuff I want to talk about. We got John Collins, 10.5 RA. That's been a wagon for me, my goodness. Anthony Davis, no LeBron tonight, 16.5 RA. Anthony Davis went berserk last night. And then we have the man, the myth, the legend. He's probably going to be the thumbnail unless Gafford gets put on this board sooner, which I don't think they're going to put Gafford in because they're scared. By the way, Gafford smashed. He smashed Hulk style, baby. Gafford crushed. But we got Mr. Curry, 10 RA. It's in the mix. His Goblin, 24.5 points is in the mix. His fantasy score at 43 is in the mix. His P plus A is in the mix. I honestly think, here's the deal. This right here, 33.5 PA. I honestly think that we might get lucky and they lower his fantasy score down to 42.5. Right now it's at an even 43, but I honestly think that they're going to drop it to 42.5. If they do that, that is when you attack it, okay? Look at this Goblin. His Goblin is 4.5 3 points made. That's insane. That's an insane Goblin, folks. If you were going to take this, I would recommend you just take this. 12.5 3 points attempted. If he's going to get 5 3-pointers made, he's going to attempt at least 13 shots, okay? Just think about it logically. To hit 5 threes, he's going to be attempting at least 10. And if he hits 50%, he's going to keep shooting if the game stays close. So this would probably be the one to take. I'm telling you, I would tell you to go ahead and take his fantasy score. But again, I think we're going to get value at 42.5 when it drops down. If it drops down, that is when you will smash it. Again, we'll cover it in the live stream. But 12.5 3-point attempts is absolutely crispy. It's in the mix. Even his field goal attempted is in the mix. His RA, like I said, his PA. This game has a high total and a close spread, and it could very well feed families. Now, on the other side of that coin, no Kawhi Leonard. So, James Harden has to be considered. 5.5 rebounds, 43.5 fantasy score. It was at 43 earlier. All of these need to be considered when you're doing your process tonight, whatever it is that you do. 14.5 R plus A, okay? James Harden can get hot and clear these, and now Kawhi Leonard's a big piece of usage, a big piece of the puzzle, and as of now, he's out. All right, that's a huge 27 to 30% usage coming out. You could even take a look at Zubac and Paul George if you wanted to. James Harden's rebounds been a wagon. The Golden State Warriors do give up rebounds. Draymond's going to be in the mix, clogging paint and stuff like that. But those are the two that I would consider. And I got to say this right here because this is sticker shock. I know this video is going longer than I wanted to by now. It's probably not going to get released till 4, but I don't care. Klay Thompson at 25 fantasy. I believe he was at 24.5 a little bit ago, but this is literally sticker shock. shocked. 25 fantasy points? The dude can literally put up 25 real points any given time, okay? His real points, you could consider it. I know he's been in a slump. He's been 2023/24 Clay. He hasn't been game 6 Clay, but it should be considered. I'm personally going to stick with Curry, but if you wanted to go there, I don't hate it whatsoever. Now, there's a man in my Discord that swears by the scratch-off lottery ticket propositions, and his name is Eddie Edwards. He's always asking for a shout-out. This is Eddie's play of the day. I'm giving it to everybody on YouTube. I told him I'd hammer it. Bam Adebayo, 1.5 dunks. This is Eddie's play of the day. Eddie, are you going to cash or are you going to sell? I want to know if he's cashing or selling. We don't know. We'll have to wait and see. 1.5 dunks. He's been on a dunk spree, cashing dunk slips. It's insane. Like, what are we doing here? But I told him I'd do this. So buyer beware, seller beware. If you want to take Eddie's play of the day and maybe smash a 1.5 dunk. He did cash yesterday and the day before. He claims and swears by the dunk prop. So God be with you. If he sells, he sells. Don't at me, bro. I'm not telling you to do it off my accord. Now, a little bit more information on Curry real quick. He has a 1.33 fantasy point per minute with a monster 31% usage rate. Harden has a 1.19 fantasy point per minute with a 20% usage rate. All you have to do, folks, is go to your calculator, multiply that, project how many minutes you think, whether it's 35. We'll do it live, fam. We'll do it live. So take 1.33 times 35 for Curry, and you get 46.55. So on average, he will cover that. That is how you can do that. I got Jokic. He was considered. He's not on the board yet. 1.79 fantasy points per minute with a monster 30% usage rate. You have to consider him. Talked about Trae Young, 1.38 fantasy points per minute. Talked about Precious. Porzingis, 1.25 fantasy points per minute. And Daniel Gafford, when they put him on the board, if his fantasy score is 25, what, you didn't think I was tapping the arm today, baby? Put Daniel Gafford in the mix. Put him in your slip. Whatever he comes in at, 1.14 fantasy points per minute. I don't care. Put him in the mix. Put him in your slip. He's hitting. He's hitting everything. That's why he's not on the board yet, because they're trying to figure out what is going to draw in the action. He's breaking all the algorithms. He's breaking all the models. Everybody needs to put respect on Daniel Gafford's name, because the man respects coin in his new role. The chains are off. The man's unleashed, and he's coming to cash your slips. Daniel Gafford, baby. I was hoping he would be out by the time this video released, but it is what it is. We got to keep moving. I've covered a lot of stuff, and there's way more stuff that I could cover, and I will do so in the live stream. But before I get out of here, let's take a look at my other partner, DGF Fantasy, where you can get all the sportsbook value. You join my court. You join the site. Listen, the link is in the description. Promo code CRUSH. You get in there. I give you a 30-day free trial in my Discord. On top of that, I will teach you how to use this tool to make coin. Yes, sir. By the way, Precious Achiuwa, 10.5 R plus A, bang! You literally got it right there. 120 minus 140. It's crispy. I talked about it before I even saw it was on here. And look at this. Trae Young, you love to see confirmation bias, baby. It's a heck of a drug. Trae Young, 45 fantasy points. The books have him at 46. Your boy was calling it out before I even looked at this. Let's go. And Siakam, 10.5 RA. Boys, it's hitting tonight, boys. You just got that feeling that it's going to hit. And rest assured, I'm going right back to the Malik Monk wagon. 4.5 assists on Valentine's Day for Malik Monk. Give it to me. And I'll take his points. Absolutely. And Jamal Murray, if he's healthy, the man's been broken. His shoulder, I talked about his shoulder. They rebooted him the other day. 6.5 assists for Jamal Murray is 100,000% in the mix. Remember, use code CRUSH on DGF Fantasy. You'll get a little discount. The link's in the description. You'll get a free trial of my cord. I'll teach you how to use this. You literally use this. You compare it to my projection model. When they both are in harmony and sing, bang, you put it in a slip, you cook. It's that easy. Nick Richards, 21.5 PRA. Yo, Donnie Mitchell, 39.5 PRA. RJ Barrett. No, RJ Barrett, you're banned. You're not on the list. I'm just kidding. I don't ban anybody. But the fact of the matter is this, folks. We don't claim to be better than anybody. I personally don't. I'm just like you. I put my pants on every single day. We're a ragtag group of D-gens and boys just trying to learn. We got a few girls in the mix too, so don't be shy. Whether you join the cord, whether you're on a free trial, whether you go to the website and sign up directly, especially whether you're just a YouTube subscriber, a live stream subscriber, whatever you are, I appreciate you being in the mix and supporting your boy and allowing me to come into your screen and tell you and do the Lord's work every single day. I welcome all people. Just keep an open mind and come get down with your boys. We have a good time, especially those esports guys. They're the biggest degens I've ever met. So if that sounds like you, if you like the cut of my jib, if you want to jip and jive with one of the GOATs, as they say, head on over to CaptainCrush.net and I will see you in the live stream. Good luck in all your contests. Here's the salute. God bless you and my brothers and sisters in Christ. Let's crush.